This episode of Long Night with Vish Khanna was recorded before a studio audience in St. John's, Newfoundland on Saturday, May 13th, 2017.
From the stunning Rocket Room at the magnificent Lawnya Festival in awe-inspiring St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, it's Long Night with Vish Khanna! On tonight's show, the stupendous DJ producer and party turner Chippy Nonstop, the marvelous singer-songwriter and record maker Bryson, the extraordinary St. John's musician and rabble-rouser Renee, Sharpe, and musical performances from tonight's spectacular house band, Hooded Bang. And now, here's your host, the amazing Vish Khanna. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing out there? It's so nice to see you all. Elling, how about a hand for Elling, the best sidekick I have in St. John's. I have a sidekick in Toronto, and he gets really upset when I have other sidekicks.
Oh.
So I have to qualify.
I'm your side piece.
You're my sidekick on the side, far on the east side. And, it's not my mistress, don't say that. And, special house band. Normally my house band is the Bicycles in Toronto. Tonight, Hooded Fang, look at that.
Hello, thanks for having us.
How you doing, Hooded Fang? April, how's it going over there?
I'm, as our gracious host Rick has said, Lawnya Vawnya.
Oh, you've become Lawnya Vawnya, have you?
Yeah, we played the last 2 nights, and here we are, going again.
Well,
we gotta tough it out like a real newfie.
I don't think you're allowed to use that word.
You're gonna edit this, right?
You know, I'm not gonna edit that. I kind of like that it's in there. Thanks for being here, though. It's good to have you guys. You sounded great.
We can just bleep it out.
Elling, why are you so far down the couch? That's not
know.
how...
I'm just going to extend my legs over there. So
This is not a psychiatric session. Why are you...
This mic cord is very short. I can
Oh,
switch
is that
mics,
right?
but-
Why don't you just do that? No, it's fine.
Oh,
That's fine.
It was hooked to my
I also
leg.
have... I don't know if I'm overcompensating, but I have a very huge desk. Why is this desk so big? Did you get me this desk? Where did this desk come from?
I think it came from the room that we were just in.
It's
That's why
ginormous.
There was so much room in that room.
Oh, well, it's beautiful. It's a lovely desk. What do you guys think of my desk? It's big, right? It's a nice desk. I don't want to go too much further without thanking all the people at the Vawnya Festival for bringing me out here every year. How about a round of applause for them? They do all this work, and they get volunteers to put up my set. It's amazing. It's really fun. Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Now, you were my first sidekick, or sorry, I should say last year was the first time you were my sidekick, is what I meant to say.
That's right.
And,
And you trusted me from the moment you met me last year.
That's right, I did. And this year, I didn't know who else to ask. So you're back. No. You are an exceptionally good announcer and sidekick. It's really nice to have you. Now, the last time...
I'm wearing the exact same suit.
I probably am, too. I only really own one suit.
Down to the sneakers, I think.
Oh, yeah. Well, good. You look nice. You look really swell.
Oh, thank you.
Now, for people who don't know who you are, who are you? What do you do, Elling?
My name is Elling Leon, and I'm just a guy from St. John's who does some stuff. Generally, what I do is I encourage people to make art, and that's where I get.
And in what capacity do you... Yeah, sure, yeah. In what capacity do you do that exactly?
It's turned into an official thing. So there's this organization that I started called Unpossible, and I'm the executive director, and we do stuff that encourages people to make art. So it grew out of the RPM challenge here in town, which started ages ago in New Hampshire. It's an international thing, but we brought it here I was the editor of the Scope newspaper back in the day in 2008 when we first encouraged people to do it here in town, and it just caught on. It was just, and it turned into this like really beautiful community thing. And just this year was the 10th anniversary.
Congratulations,
of the
10
RPM.
years. Wow.
Congratulations to St. John's in Newfoundland, because we got over 1,000 albums have been recorded as part of the RPM challenge.
Wow, 1,000.
And it's okay, so the RPM, for people that don't know, it's a creative challenge to anyone to record an album in the month of February.
Right.
For beginners or experts or professionals or whatever. And it's just a creative challenge.
There's a really amazing DIY spirit in the city, isn't there?
Oh, totally, yeah.
And the world needs to know.
The world definitely needs to know.
And that's what I'm doing here today. I'm going to tell the world about you and your suit.
You're doing the
and
Lord's
your
work.
sneakers. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great. How about a hand for Helling and everyone involved in this RPM challenge? And it's really important. It's really important to inspire young people and people who don't think they have the means to do these things, because then there wouldn't be, if not, festivals like this one wouldn't exist, and
That's
the culture
true.
like this wouldn't exist. So I really mean it. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
Also, last time we were here, you were telling me about a bar
Right,
that
yes.
you opened for small birds.
That's how I'm known across Canada, really.
Can you explain the bird bar?
Most of
briefly?
the audience is like, yeah. some people are just
There's
like,
some people
"What
from
the
away
hell?"
that don't know why you have a bird bar, but you had you closed the bird bar, right? You had to close the
I
bar.
had to close it. Yes, this is like a whole like story.
We don't have a
crammed
lot of
into,
time.
Like,
I know, we have
right?
to wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay, so
Can you,
okay,
as briefly-
let me sum it up here.
Yeah, as briefly as possible.
Okay, so it
please.
was a live webcam on a bird feeder that looked like a Newfoundland pub, and Junkos came to it and ate birdseed out of this thing that looked like a Newfoundland pub, and it was really funny and amazing. So I did that. It was, like my 15 minutes of fame is well spent by now, and then they some birds laid eggs in there, and some chicks hatched. And it got even more attention. Some of those chicks died, which was even crazier. And
crazier in a sad way.
crazier in a sad way. It was like brutal because it was like live streamed. We didn't know what to do with them. I was like, people were like, you should save them, and I'm like, oh my god.
This sounds like a bad episode of Cheers. Is what this is.
And then there was this disease that started affecting.
Of course, there was a disease.
Birds in Atlantic Canada called Frounce, and it's transmitted through bird feeders. And really, by that time I was kind of sick of running a bird feeder that was getting so much attention.
You're a monster. I said you were a hero, but you, my friend, are a monster.
That I decided to shut it down, and I was interviewed on As It Happens for it.
Right. Why?
Carol Off made me cry on national radio.
Because you killed the birds?
I didn't kill the bird.
You contributed
You're
to
gonna
these...
make me cry here now.
I'm sorry. Okay, well, how about a round of applause for Helling? Our guest tonight on the show, rapper Chippy Nonstop, songwriter and singer Jim Bryson, and activist Renee Sharpe. Thank you so much for being here on Long Night. We gotta take a break. We'll be right back. No flipping. No flipping. Promotional consideration is brought to you by Pizza Trocadero, the finest pizzeria in all of Guelph, Ontario. They've got delicious gourmet pizzas, or choose from an array of fresh ingredients and make whatever you like. Calzones, wings, panzerotti, salads, breadsticks, garlic bread. Pizza Trocadero has it all. You can find them at 7 Municipal Street in Guelph, Ontario, or trocaderoguelph.ca on the internet. Call them at 519-829-2444 for pickup or delivery. That's Pizza Trocadero, a place of the good trade. Welcome back. Welcome back to Long Night. Helling is... What are you doing? Oh, we have an on-air sign this year, which is exciting. Do you have your...
We did last year. It was mine that I happen to have laying around, but this year there's an even more official one.
Yeah, you live in a weird, phony world where you have
Fish.
bird bars and
I don't
TV,
ask-
studio props. It's
I
weird.
don't say that about your world.
That's true, you don't, which is very kind of you. Thank you, Elling. It's nice to have you here with us, as always. Our first guest tonight is an outspoken musical force who was born in Dubai, but has called both the United States of America and Canada home in recent years. This week, she released a video for a new song called Riot, which was inspired by her shocking deportation from America. We're psyched that she's here with us tonight, so please make some noise for Chippy Nonstop.
Hello.
Hi, Chippy.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course.
This is the first time I've been interviewed by another Indian person, so
The first time ever.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Wow, how does
Yeah.
it feel?
It's the same. Actually, I
Thanks.
feel like you're like Sharpe and I'm in a Bollywood film. If
Yeah.
you guys don't know, that's like a really famous Bollywood actor.
Well, my last name's Khan. My last name's actually quite common. Like in India, my last name Khan is like Smith, right?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah. You're
pretty
like a
common.
Bob Smith to me.
I am a lot like a Bob Smith anyway. I like to say I'm the whitest guy I know. I mean, come on. You should take a look at my record collection, Pavement
Yeah.
Records. It's crazy. I'm very white. Anyway, I have Pavement B-sides. I have every Pavement B-side. That's how white I am.
I'm so not white that I have no idea what that is.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Now, welcome to St. John's, Newfoundland. I'm not from here, but on behalf of,
Oh,
you know.
yeah. Thanks,
Yes, welcome,
thanks,
welcome.
guys. Oh, thank you. Even though you killed several birds, I love that. Thanks for welcoming me.
I loved how you commented that the white guy was the sidekick earlier today. That was great. That's
Yeah.
good.
No, it's,
Why are you
it's-
making it racially weird, Ellie?
Yeah, you're making it like. Why are you bringing up race when I said nothing about it?
Can't we just have our own time without you, getting in the middle of it?
Mansplaining us.
Sidekick. Side on the side. We're having a conversation. Let the Browns talk, okay? I'm just kidding. Elling is, yeah.
No,
You're
we
fine.
love bird killers.
Have you been to St. John's before?
No.
Sorry, I've been here for like 7 straight years. They keep bringing me back. It's very
Wow,
nice. Yeah.
must be nice.
It is very nice. Yeah. What
I
do you-
actually really like it. Halifax, on the other hand.
Yeah, based on your Twitter feed, I noticed you have some problems with Halifax. Were you just there?
Yesterday, yes.
And what happened? What's wrong with Halifax?
A lot of things happen. I don't know, like. Okay, so like I run a workshop called Intercessions with a few other friends. It's a workshop series where, it's a safe space where we teach women, queer folk, taught by women
Yeah.
and queer folk and people of the LGBTQ community. And the person that booked or that was supposed to like be booked by, kind of his politics didn't really make sense with my own.
Oh.
Which I don't really take into account because at the same, like, I have to make compromises, you
Sure.
know, like I need to make money. This is my life, this is all I do. I make music and make art, And so basically, like, people were getting mad that our politics didn't align and were kind of protesting against it.
Oh.
And he didn't want to take the heat, so he just canceled the entire show.
Oh.
And then there was just like all this drama. The entire city knew about the beef, and I just didn't even think it was that deep. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think it was that serious when I got there, and everyone was like, oh my God, like, I heard about what happened. Then I played a DIY show, and they, like, I don't know if you guys know, like, equipment, but, like, they didn't get a mixer, which, like, the sound, like, needs to come out of
Yeah.
the mixer. So, like, they got, like, CDJs, but there was no mixer. And they were like, this is a DIY space. Like, why would we have a mixer? I was like, I thought everything, like, sound, like, the sound needs to come out of mixer. So I just had so many technical difficulties. And, the queer community was against me, and the, like, white bro community was against
Oh,
me.
no.
So, like, it was just, like, all this, like, chaos. And, yeah, it was, so I played, but it was, like, a mess.
Right.
For sure.
Are you familiar with the 1995 Halifax pop explosion? There was lots of great music.
I'm not
that came
familiar
out
with
of-
anything that's
I'm just
ever
trying to-
happened in Halifax.
I was just trying to spin the city in a better light because it means a lot to some of us. The
Okay,
indie
well,
rock.
I'm sorry on behalf of like myself, but like Halifax to me sucked.
Yeah, that sounds bad. That sounds bad. Do you?
But I mean, I would go if like there was an appropriate thing that people would be nice to me at.
Yeah, right. And I mean, it's unfortunate that it sounds like it wasn't just the one guy. The whole city treated you kind of.
Yeah.
Basically, down to City Hall, the mayor
But
basically
then when
spit
I
in your
got
face.
there, I was like, yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
I tweeted like, I can't believe I have beef with the entire city of Halifax.
Yes, I saw that. Have you encountered this before in other cities?
No,
Just Halifax?
just Halifax.
Oh man, that's a
Yeah.
drag. Well, it's a nice city, and you have some city issues. Like, where are you living right now?
I live in Toronto.
Oh, you're in Toronto now,
Mm-hmm.
but you were forced to live in Vancouver for a while.
Of course. I mean, I grew up in California. My mom and dad still live there. And yeah, like I was born in the Middle East, as you said before. It was actually like close to Dubai.
Oh,
It was
close to Dubai,
Sharjah, yeah. So basically, like if you're born in a Middle Eastern place, but you're not of Middle Eastern descent, you're not given citizenship of that country. So you're born with like kind of paperwork. Pretty
Right,
much.
right.
And it's like, yeah, you were born here, but you're not a legal citizen. You're not allowed to buy property there at the time. This was in 1992. So it's like, yeah, you're not allowed to buy property there. You're not allowed to buy vehicles there. You're not allowed to own anything there unless you're of Arab descent. So yeah, and as I said earlier, like I'm Indian. So yeah, basically I was just born with all this paperwork. My parents didn't like file it properly, like
Yeah.
they're immigrants, like they just didn't know how to like file it properly, apply for the appropriate things. And yeah, so my dad was transferred to America when I was 10 years old
Transferred?
for his job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he had a work permit, but when I turned 21, I wasn't legally allowed to be on my family's visa.
Oh,
So I was transferring over to an artist visa.
okay.
And in that whole process, I went on a tour and I left the country and I was in Japan. And then on my way back from Japan to LA, they were like, like you went on a tour a few years ago, but you weren't on an artist visa. You were on a student visa and you're not allowed to tour on a student visa.
Oh,
So basically, I was penalized for something I did years ago, and I was put into detainment for 12 hours. I was questioned for a long time, and they were like, well, we don't know what to do with you. Like, where do you want to go? And I was like,
we don't know what to do with you.
Well, like, they were actually confused. They were like, where do you want to go? Do you want to go back to Japan? Do you want to go to Mexico? Or do you want to go to Canada?
Why?
Actually, like, and I was like, my parents live 30 minutes from Mexico. They live in San Diego,
Right.
but like towards Mexico side. And I was like, yeah, like I'll go to Mexico. And I was like, what time is it though? Because I had no concept of time. They took away all my possessions. I was wearing a jacket with like a string on it, and they took that away because they were like, oh, we don't want you to hang yourself in the bathroom or anything. Or
That's
like,
courteous of them.
Yeah, it was nice. And then they were like, yeah, we're gonna take your shoelaces off because you know I could hang myself with that too. But yeah, so it was dark.
Yeah.
It was actually, it's not a laughing matter. No, just kidding. But yeah, like when I look back at it, it's like I actually like feel like I did so much with myself after, because it like gave me so much drive to be like, yeah, this world is pretty fucked. Like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but so you still didn't really.
But yeah, so basically they were like, where do you want to go? And I was like, all right, Vancouver.
You just picked Vancouver.
Well, it was the closest to LAX.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was at LAX at the time. So yeah, I was like Vancouver. And then I got to Canada and they were like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I have no idea.
So what's your citizenship right now?
Oh, I'm Canadian.
Hey, we got Chippy and Nonstop.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for us.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Yeah, so they like they didn't know what to do with me. And the guy took me in when I got to Vancouver, and he was like, can I watch your like videos? Like, what do you do? Da, da, da. So I got put into this room, and I'm just like with Homeland Security watching my videos. I don't know if you've...
Oh my God, was it Money Dance?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Like, I don't know, like my videos are pretty explicit and like, for like a lack of better word, ratchet as fuck.
So you're sitting in a room with a bunch of old dudes?
With an old white guy watching a video of me, like, shaking my ass.
And throwing money in the air.
Throwing fake money and cookies into the air. Yeah. So that happened. And then, like, actually, this funny thing happened. I'm going to go back a little. This funny thing happened so I played a show with Juicy J, like, a long time ago. And this guy, like, in LAX, comes out singing a Juicy J song. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, he's trolling me. Like, he's like, you're getting deported and I'm singing this Juicy J song at you because you just played a show with him. Like,
really?
Yeah, like, it was, yeah.
Mean.
They were fucking with me.
Well, it's awful. But
yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, I'm glad you're here.
I'm honestly, like, it twisted my world and made it a better place, like, at the end.
Well, you have this song, Riot, that just came out.
Yeah.
Was that song inspired by these events?
Yeah, well, like, even when I was in America, because I wrote partially, like, some parts of it while I was in America, and I just knew that something like that was going to happen because my visa situation was kind of messed up, and my parents just, like, I knew that they hadn't, like, had the proper lawyer to, like, look over our paperwork and stuff. So, yeah, I was kind of I wrote half of it, like, while I was still there, and then, yeah, I got deported, and then I finished it and made the video.
Do you intend to go back to the U.S.?
Well, I'm banned for 10 years.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, yeah, my family still lives there. My mom, my dad, my brothers all live there.
I think it's sort of worth noting that you were deported prior to Trump.
Yeah.
Like, and you wrote a letter you started a petition to the White House.
I didn't start it, like Twitter fans, like, started it. But, yeah, like, people, started it, and it kind of, like, went, like, half viral, I guess.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, people were posting about it and stuff, and... Yeah, like, it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't really help. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. We had so much I wanted to talk about, but we can catch up some other time.
I guess.
And talk some more. What's coming up for you? What's going on?
I'm playing tonight. If you guys want to come out, it's gonna be fun. So you guys should come to Factory.
Yeah,
I want to say Factory.
Factory. Yeah. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
That's how they pronounce it here.
That's a Newfie accent, right?
It's totally the accent.
Oh wait,
again,
beat that out.
You can't say that. I don't think you're allowed to say
wait,
that.
Is that?
It's not. It's
yeah,
not.
no.
Is that racist?
You can't. Yeah, you can't. Don't. I don't want to. Yeah.
Wow.
They don't like it.
Okay, that's dark. Anyway, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So people can follow you on Twitter at Chippy_Nonstop.
If you Google Chippy Nonstop, everything comes up.
Make sure you
not to brag.
Yeah. Make sure you get the right. Make sure you get the right Chippy Nonstop when you Google it, because
what?
There's really only one. How about a round of applause for Chippy Nonstop? We're gonna take a break. We'll be back with Jim Bryson. You have a seat. Sit down. Yeah.
I can
we'll be
sit
back
around.
with Jim Bryson. Stick around. The Bookshelf is an independently owned bookstore, bar, music venue, movie theater, and restaurant located at 41 Quebec Street in Guelph, Ontario. For more information about the Bookshelf's hours, the listings, blogs, directions, accessibility, and to order books from their online store from anywhere in the world, please visit bookshelf.ca. All right, we're back on Long Night. How about another hand up for Chippy Nonstop? That was
great.
She was fascinating. Oh, thank you very much. All right. Hey, Elling.
Hey.
Do you know that we're recording this episode for a podcast?
I do.
Do you know the name of the podcast?
Long Night with Vishkana?
No. It's called Creative Control.
Creative Control with 2 Ks.
Yeah, that's my show.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you'd like to follow my podcast, I have long-form interviews with people. It's okay, Elling.
I did research.
Yeah, you did.
I know how to spell it anyway.
No, that's good. Anyway, if you can subscribe to the show and find the show on all the podcast platforms and download it and rate it and review it and tell your friends, that would be great. It's a half-decent show, I think, and I do my best with what I have, so thank you. Our next guest is a critically acclaimed singer-songer based in Stittsville, Ontario, a seasoned collaborator who's been a touring member of the Tragically Hip, the Weaker Thans, and Kathleen Edwards. Bryson has released 5 records of his own, including 2016 Somewhere We Will Find Our Place. That can't be right. Is that the name of the title? That's right. I said it right. Somewhere We Will Find Our Place. Someday I'll find my place. And I'll get this intro correct. People of St. John's, Newfoundland, please make some noise for Jim Bryson.
Vish.
Nice to have you there.
Wow, Chippy's life is way more interesting than mine.
Well, it's more interesting than most. Did you know any of that stuff?
No.
It's pretty remarkable.
I got kicked out of the States once, but it was far less dramatic.
What did you do?
I was hired by a band to play guitar, and they didn't have paperwork, so they took their van.
By paperwork, do you mean tablature?
Yeah, they didn't have their shredding charts.
Can I get a rim shot on the guitar?
So they kept.
That's all he. All he deserves.
The saddest rim shot in the world. Sorry, Jim.
Wow.
Paperwork for your guitar playing?
No, it wasn't it was to go to the States.
Oh, sorry.
They didn't have the paperwork correctly filed, so they took the van and we had to walk over the Thousand Islands Bridge in the middle of the night. And maybe it was the evening because we went to a chicken restaurant in Gananoque and waited to be driven home.
Sounds like a Quentin Tarantino film all of a sudden.
Yeah. So that's about as exciting as my deportation life goes. Yeah.
Well, you have it pretty easy because of, well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to Chippy. I didn't want this whole show to be racially tinged and tense, but it's ending up that way.
Well, I have a Portuguese mother. I don't know what that means. Yeah. So I'm Mediterranean. Yeah, I'm Mediterranean. We've had our struggles.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, welcome back to St. John's. You've been here before.
I've been here before, yeah.
What is your...
Well, I feel like a total racist now that I made the joke about being Portuguese, which is not a good thing to be in Newfoundland because of the fisheries. And so basically I'm persona non grata all across the board.
I grew up in Portugal Cove.
Yeah, which is named after the Portuguese who tried to steal all the fish. Anyway, sorry.
That's exactly what we think of.
Yeah.
That.
I like that Elling dug you out of that hole, Jim, and then you
just jumped back in.
You just went back in.
Yeah.
What do you make of St. John's?
Well, my shows went great, so hopefully none of those people listen to this show, and I'll be in the clear to return. What do I make? I find it quite hilly.
Yes.
I love it though. It's a nice place. I walk around. People always offer to take me on hikes, which I'm sort of into, not really, but I appreciate the concept. Maybe I look out of shape. So they're like, Jim, you should come on a 3-hour hike. So tomorrow I might go on a little hike. Today I went to Middle Cove, which is beautiful, and we saw an iceberg. So that's a one off the cliche checklist of coming to Newfoundland.
Right.
But yeah, I've been here a few times. I've been around different parts of the province, and I really do like it. Yeah.
It's lovely. I think it's beautiful, and I'm lucky to get here. But you're from, I didn't know this. I always think of you as Ottawa, Jim Bryson.
Yeah. Well,
you're from Stittsville?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. What's that? That's a place.
Chippy, I got this. It's okay. I wrote questions down. I can do this. I'm fine. I know, but I can ask the questions. It's fine. Jim, what's that?
Well, it was a town that used to have the moniker Just Beyond the Fringe, which I think meant the fringe of the city, just on the fringe of the Ottawa Valley, that kind of thing. Just a really nondescript place to grow up, which I've returned to.
Yeah, you live there again.
Yeah, I mean, when you're an artist and a musician, the most, like a cheap house is a real draw. So I was offered a house from my family for a fraction of the cost of living, and I couldn't say no, mostly because I was guilted into it as well.
Was it like your childhood home?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
You're living in the house you were raised.
Yeah.
All your changes were there.
Yeah, and I'm adopted, and I have depression, and all this stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think we need this whole couch, frankly.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. I could move over here.
No. I don't have time for the whole session right now. we can do it some other time. I didn't realize you had all that going on.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not that much going on, but yes, people have it worse. Believe me.
Well, do you have a fond memory from your upbringing that you can share, like something about?
We had a dirt bike growing up, and we built a dirt bike track in our backyard. So we had like crazy dirt bike ramps and stuff in our backyard. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, that's pretty good, right? Yeah. So we were dirt bike kids. So we'd drive them on the streets and stuff like that to get. My mother, who's 88 now, my mother used to get on my dirt bike, which was a child's dirt bike.
Oh, wow.
And she would push my helmet on her head, and she would start it up and put it into gear, clutch it, and go down to Doreen's for coffee on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, you should have seen her, like Rusty. My mother, actually, in the 50s, my mother drove a race car once. So I knew she knew how to use a manual transmission.
Right.
But yeah, she just took off like, hey, how does this thing work? Nothing, just like out, boom, see you later. Cigarettes in her pocket, ready to go.
Did you say that your mother drove a race car once?
Yeah, there was something, it's actually quite sexist, I guess, but it was from another time, I guess. It was called the Cream Puff Derby, where it was all female drivers. And my mother drove a race car for a Chevy dealer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, like as a promotion or something?
Yeah, some kind of
sexist promotion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
How did you get into music in Stittsville?
I don't. Well, I don't really know, actually. It was no one that I knew played music. We had a piano, so we took piano lessons, but I wasn't really very interested in it. I think I just wanted to. At some point, I think the big thing for me was I liked seeing people on video screens playing music, and it seemed like something that a hyperactive kid could do, because I wasn't really being prepped for a big life.
Oh.
I was like a troubled child and stuff like that. So I think anything short of like complete collapse, I think, to those around me was a great success. So it allowed me to do whatever I wanted to do, frankly.
You've been doing this a long time. You've been writing music, you've been recording music, you've been producing other people.
Yeah.
I mentioned all the people you've collaborated with.
I don't know if,
I mentioned a few.
A stretch, but
what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I was hired to play as a touring musician. I'd say it's less than collaboration, more as an appointment.
What about with Kathleen, though? Kathleen Edwards?
Oh, yeah, that's a collaboration.
That's a full-on collaboration.
Yeah, that
part
is.
of a band.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say is I think you've done really well for yourself.
Thank you. I feel good about it.
You should. You should.
Thank
You've
you.
done well. Sure. Applause break. This is a question that spans space and time, but are the material conditions for artists any stronger for you today than they were, say, 20 years ago? Because there's different schools of thought on how artists can live and live viable lives these days.
I would say it's different. I don't think it's necessarily worse. I mean, I guess it's worse in a way that if you are somebody that based your existence on like selling music, then it's not as good.
Right.
But I'm not one of these people that I've gone to music conferences where people just are super upset about it and the whole situation of music. And I just sort of feel like music was music before it was commercialized. So I think of music as more of a social kind of thing than I do as a commercial thing anyway. So I feel that, especially what I do, and I have like a studio now and work on records and do kinds of things, I feel really creative, and I feel that I have a certain amount of debt, but c'est la vie. Yeah. But I'm not one to bellyache about the dire conditions of musicians and poor us. And I think that landscapes change, and nothing lasts forever, and you have to sort of change with it, or just complain and go home. So
that's fair.
Yeah. So I'm here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. We're all glad you're here. I think it's great that you're here. I've been told we are running out of time. I want to bring up something that happened to you and me this past summer.
What happened to us?
You and I were sitting beside each other. As fate would have it, I got my ticket for the the Tragically Hip show in Ottawa for the Man Machine tour, and you and I happened to be sitting right beside each other.
Right beside one another.
What are the odds of that? You were already sitting. I got there, and I sat beside you. And
well, the odds were better than you'd think because we got our tickets from an inside source.
That's true. Right.
So
yeah. That's true. They might have done that for us.
It wasn't like Jenny Pop. We weren't doing that.
No.
Yeah, we weren't lined up on like May 14th overnight with a tent.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you weren't. I was.
Yeah. No,
I still
you
did
weren't.
that.
You weren't.
I was not.
No.
It's true. I live a good life too.
Yeah.
Now, I know that performance was complicated for you emotionally. How are you feeling about the band these days? About the hip?
Well, I don't know if they are a band now necessarily. I mean, I think that I have a good relationship with all of the people in the band individually. Gord is somebody that I don't really talk to regularly, but like he wrote me on my birthday. He has the same birthday as my youngest daughter, so he writes me every February 6th for my daughter. So, he writes me these beautiful, very short, but beautiful, heartwarming, make you misty kind of little notes. So, and that's about it, because I haven't actually seen him more than a couple times since I toured in the band, which was 8 years ago.
Right.
But there's definitely like a level of respect and feelings I have for that person as a human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that came across when I was sitting beside you, I have to say.
Yeah. It was pretty emotional.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Do you have a favorite or funny story from your time touring with that band?
No, I don't know that funny or favorite. I think some of the things that happen on tour, like, people write books about going on tour, but I'm more of like I'm not really nostalgic, so I don't tend to remember a ton of things that happen.
Yeah.
I just remember kind of, just the general mood of things and sort of the things that I would do. Like Gord, I would go with Gord to like galleries and things like that, and he'd get mad about, like I remember being in Washington, D.C. at the National Gallery, and him being we were really talking about, I think I brought it up, which was bad because later on it really became a bee in his bonnet, but about that there was no Canadian art. We didn't see any Canadian art in like this international, art gallery in Washington, D.C., like by the Smithsonian.
Right.
I remember that, but I remember going to galleries with Gord. I remember the drummer and I would go. He was a foodie, so he would drag me along. I was sort of like
Johnny Faye is a foodie?
Oh yeah, he's a huge foodie.
Didn't know that.
So he brought me to like Mirimoto in Philadelphia, and between soundcheck and the show, he'd be like, let's go do this. We're gonna go and do this, and you come with me. Almost like by being hired by the band, I was like their plaything or something.
Right.
Bring Jim. You want to go to a gallery, Gord? Bring Jim with you to the gallery. He'll go.
Right.
He's hired by us. He'll do what we say.
Well, that's nice, though. It's good that you got some time with them like
Absolutely,
that.
yeah. So, it was a very, very nice time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, at the end of the day, it becomes a job.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's not something that you've created and something that is your own soul. So at some point, it became like a job.
Right. You're
Like
playing other people's songs.
I did 100 shows that were 2.5 hours long. Like, I mean, by the time you're in Belgium on a rainy Thursday night 9 months later, it's not like you're doing something creative at that point, for me anyway.
Right.
For them it would be, but for me it was not. So I was happy to go home after tours the longer the year went on.
Well, it's a heartwarming story about your time with the Tragically Hip.
Being creative and then being employed by somebody as a side person is a different thing. And so
I think Ellen can relate to you there.
Yeah.
He's just a side person.
Yeah, I'll tell you, like, I feel for Ellie. You've been really hard on him.
Yeah.
And I hope he's been building up some zingers for the second half of the show, because, frankly, you deserve it.
I'm working on it.
Hey, Ellie.
You can slip me some.
Sideman forever.
All right, well, we're out of time. And for more information about Jim, follow him on Twitter at Jim Bryson. We have to take a short break. When we return, local activist Renee Sharpe joins us. Another round of applause for Jim Bryson. Jim Bryson. Promotional consideration is provided by Planet Bean, a Guelph-based coffee company with service throughout Ontario. Fair trade, organic, and yummy. Visit planetbeancoffee.com for more info. on Long Night Live at the Rocket Room in St. John's. How about a round of applause for the people at the Rocket Room who, I mean it sincerely. Thank you for having us here. It's really fun to do the show here, I have to say. It's one of my favorite places to do the show. One of the only places I get to do the show, but still, one of my favorite places to do the show, and it's really nice. And Hooded Fang, how are you guys doing over there? Everything going okay, Hooded Fang?
I think we're enjoying ourselves. It's like the most chill show we've ever had to do, so very low pressure. It's great. Enjoying your sidekicks are the highlights of our night.
You're saying the sidekick is the best
both
part of
sidekicks combined, yep.
Best part of the show, would you say?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay.
And,
what about Chippy, though? Chippy was good.
well, yeah, but I just meant in terms of, sidekicks.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Chippy is
Thanks, this
next
is good
level,
feedback.
and like she's, undeniably up there.
Yeah, that's right. She didn't want to steal the whole spotlight from everyone. Chippy's, no, it's good. I feel like the whole room has turned on me, and I don't know what I did. I'm just trying to be a funny
Well,
talk show
you
host.
called every one of your guests racist.
That's true, I did.
Yeah.
That's actually true.
That is actually... I didn't call Chippy
Oh,
a
that's
racist.
No.
No. Now, somehow
together
she got a
called-
pass. I don't know how that happened, but...
I also never told you, Vish, that while I was on tour, I had a newborn baby at home. So getting home, I was telling Ellie that getting home was reason I'd be happy to also get home.
Dad guilt.
Yeah, dad guilt. Yeah. Well, we're dad jokes we're doing. So
I'm the same way. I can't wait to get home. I miss my kids. Like it's. So yeah, I can't tell if Chippy is on my side or not anymore.
I think Chippy's on your side.
Yeah.
Trust no one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think she is. Yeah, it's true. When you have kids, you don't want to leave the house.
And you're going home for Mother's Day. I'm not.
They don't know this. Oh no, is this going live? We're not going live, are
No.
we? It's a I'm surprising my family by going home a day earlier than I said I was going to, so I can be there for Mother's Day. How about a hand for me? Yeah.
I bought a Nina Simone record, hid it in my daughter's room, and told her on Tuesday, on Sunday, remember to pull out this, my 8-year-old daughter, on Sunday, remember to pull out this record and give it to your mother from me for Mother's Day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know that that's going to happen, but
No,
yeah.
probably.
Yeah, 8 years old. I don't know.
Probably not. No. Anywho, our next guest is a musician, activist, and proud woman of many trades. Do you know who I'm talking about already? Among her trades, Jim, she's a welder.
Oh, yes, we talked about welding.
You did with her? You have already talked to her?
Yeah.
Did you already do a version of the show without me?
Oh, a different kind of show.
Okay, all right.
It was better.
A more compassionate show.
More compassionate. She's likely best known in St. John's as a women's self-defense
Ooh,
instructor
not.
and for inspiring women, LGBTQ, and members of other underrepresented groups to form punk bands. And this was through. Did you work with her for Band Off? Is that right, Ellen?
The second one. She did the first one on her own.
That's right. So she
I
did
just
Band
helped
Off as
her
well.
for the second
She
one.
does everything. I can't wait to have her on the couch and straighten us all out. Please make some noise for Renee Sharpe. Hi, Renee.
Hey, man, thanks. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thanks. That was really good. That was really good, Chippy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. You were, and I should say, you're here at the last minute.
Oh, yeah.
We had a cancellation, and you just
Who
stepped
canceled?
right in.
Who am I replacing?
Uh,
I didn't know I was a replacement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, but it was great because as the emails were flying around,
Yeah.
you sent an email out.
I said I wanted Renee.
asking for someone. Does anybody know anybody? And I was.
Oh, so
as,
there was a
as
few
it was
people
happening,
that were
I was
asked.
writing
Was I the
Renee's
only-
name, and then you sent an email saying someone recommended Renee.
Yeah, that's right. So I wanted,
nice.
I did want you to be on the show, but I don't know that much about you.
Thanks,
There
man.
you go.
Thanks,
Thank you
yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Everyone's raving about you. Who are you? What do you do?
Thank you. I'm Renee Sharpe, and you took care of it. Thank you
Yeah,
for that
that-
introduction. That was really thoughtful.
Oh, you're
and I
welcome.
know Elling helped you with that introduction, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep, he did.
I guess
Renee's my hero, really.
Thank
Really?
you.
You're,
That's
Thank
nice.
you.
Like you're-
That's really nice.
Just a moment here, Renee. Elling, why is Renee your hero?
Oh,
I'm just
thank
curious.
you. Yeah.
She's just amazing. She does so many positive things in the community. So many people respect her, and she's just a positive force. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You corroborate what Elling has said there, Renee? Is that how you feel about yourself?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And she's humble.
Yeah.
She's very humble.
Nope.
Not humble. Are you from St. John's?
I'm from Paradise, which is 2 towns away from here.
Okay.
Is there a person here from Paradise? Word up, sister. Where are you from in Paradise? Word. Yeah, word. I'm from Topsail Road, across from the post office there. Thank you. Thank you. And
across from the post office.
Number one,
Number
buddy,
one
the
in
only
Paradise.
one.
Okay,
Yeah, the
okay.
only post office.
There's
all kinds of shit there now.
for those
when I
who-
was there, it was just woods. I was playing baseball, just fishing. But now it's all cut down, and there's suburban sprawl.
Right.
But we had a bus back then. It was the Fleet Line. Should we talk about this
You
just
had
for a moment?
You had a bus.
Yeah.
And, okay.
It was a yellow school bus, and it would leave Holyrood, and that's like around the bay. I don't know if you know what around the bay means, but that's okay. You can catch up later in the interest of time. So it would leave Holyrood, and it would just go down the main road, the main strip, which is Topsail Road. And for me to go to a punk show when I was like 15, I would get the Fleet Line bus at 10:30 a.m. and there wasn't like a designated bus stop, so you just wait in front of your house and just flag down the yellow bus. You pay $3 to get to town, arrive at 11 a.m. The show's at like 9 p.m. and then there's no ride back into to Paradise till 5:30 p.m. the next day. I'd crash on a couch, go visit my mom. She'd be an asshole. I'd go for coffee. And then my mom's beautiful, but she's sometimes an
your
asshole.
mom sounds like she's kind of an asshole.
She's very fucking cool, but sometimes she could trip a little bit of balls. Yeah.
Sure.
So I would get the Fleet Line at 5:30 p.m. behind the used clothing store that is now actually the Relish Burger, and I'd go home.
Nice
Paradise
plug for
was
the
shit.
Relish Burger in Paradise.
Yeah.
If hit them up for a sponsorship after the show, but yeah, go ahead.
They're closed now.
They're done?
Close, Beach. It's old news.
Okay, sorry.
Done now, buddy. I don't know what's there now. But anyway, I'm from Paradise.
Damn it. Okay. So you're from Paradise. That sounds nice. So all of that adversity to see a punk rock show, you love punk rock.
I do.
And what is that? Like, we are so spoiled in Ontario. If we want to see a punk rock show, we can just go see a punk rock show.
I know.
Almost any night of the week if we really want to.
Yeah.
So this, you develop a passion.
I have.
For arts and culture.
I have. Yeah.
And this is, and now you're here.
I'm here now.
Trying to spread the passion into St. John's.
35 years old and still liking punk. Yeah.
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 And you are a welder, right?
I'm a welder.
What kind of things do you weld?
For a while, I was repairing boats in the harbor there, and
Whoa! Do you like have to go?
I'm not an underwater welder.
Oh, okay.
They're like inshore, dry
Right.
dock.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you weld boats, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm with the Iron Workers Union, so I work with structural steel. So these beams right here, I would weld those together, and you work from heights, and that's what I do. It's like heavy duty welding, I suppose.
How did you get into welding? That's fascinating to me.
It is fascinating. Yes. It was never a plan, and I guess. Well, I left Newfoundland in 2003, and I moved to Toronto, and I did a community work program at George Brown College, and I was doing community work, like working with like at-risk populations in Toronto, and it was really incredible, and I really loved it. But I was 25, and I was like, oh, I have this career, and I'm not ready for a career, so I had a quarter-life crisis. I quit everything. I gave up my apartment. I gave away all my stuff. And I left Toronto because I stopped laughing. I was there for like 4 years, and I realized I stopped laughing. I started wearing all black, so I had to bounce. I had a job wearing all black, So I left,
Wow.
So I left, and I went to Florida to meet this guy who I'd met for 5 minutes a few months before. We had kept in contact. Met him on a nude beach, and we lived on a nude beach for a month in Miami, Florida.
Hang on a minute. You're living...
I'm leading up.
Okay.
So then. And I knew I needed the change. Yeah. And so I still do community work in many ways, but I knew a few things. I knew I needed some money, and I knew that trades had a lot of money, and I found out that Montreal has free trade school. So I came back to Newfoundland for a summer, then I hitchhiked to Montreal and did 2 years of free trade school.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm a welder. So it was never a plan, but I just wanted to use my hands and make some money. Thank you.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. It's fun.
So among the projects I mentioned at the top of in the intro there was Band Off. What is that? I was asking Elling. What is Band Off, Renee?
Band Off. I didn't create it. We did it in Montreal, but we did it in Montreal while I lived there a while ago, and it's basically a really fun way to, make sure we're getting everyone on stage who wants to be on stage. So historically, obviously, punkers and anyone in any kind of DIY music scene have been living on the margins in some way or another. But mostly what we're seeing, obviously, are more like privileged white dudes on stage. And so just to switch it up and to make sure that everyone feels like they have a right to,
That's awesome. That's
make
amazing.
some loud music, we did it. So, and here I did it because I came home. I was lonely. I wanted to make some friends, and I wanted to see bands that I wanted to see, which are punk, and I want to see some women, I want to see some queers, and I want to see some people of color on stage, because that way I can have more fun and see bands that are loud and fun and punk. So it was a great, yeah, and it worked.
A new hero. I have a new hero.
It worked. So now tons of women are playing in bands here now. And we have a long way to go. It's still like there's not enough representation at all of queer folks, of people of color. So we still have a long way to go. But it's a really good start. And I'm really liking the direction that St. John's is going as a community for sure, because everyone was super supportive of each other. And now there's all these incredible bands and people just learning their instruments for the first time and just going for it because they feel supported and because everyone was really supportive.
Right.
So thanks for that, St. John's.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Did you...
Band Off had a really good, interesting process that could be used in other places. So, like, how did that work? I mean, sorry to jump in there. But
The sidekick becomes
sorry,
the master.
I'm doing it.
No, that's a good question.
Elling's allowed because he was so supportive the whole time. So supportive that he wanted to do a second one. So do you want me to describe how Band Off happened?
How did it
basically?
happen, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I did a call out, and I said, yo, come to my house. We'll have a potluck. Everyone's invited, but especially people who never felt encouraged before, like all the shit I just said. So they came to my house. We had a potluck. It was great. And everyone puts their name in a hat, and names are randomly drawn. So one person gets up, takes out 4 names. That's their band. And so the people who came, most of them had never played an instrument before. So we had 4 bands for the first Band Off. So 4 bands, we made sure that everyone had lots of gear, jam spaces. And so we collaborated with people in the community who had gear to lend, space to jam in. And we also had lots of people who volunteered to do some quick skill shares, like here's how to do a power chord, here's how to plug in your amp, and here's some fucking cheerleading for confidence. And so they had 2 weeks to learn 1 cover and to write 2 originals. And they did it. Like, people were just jamming every day. There was such a buzz.
Nice.
In St. John's, it was amazing. Like, every time I'd see anyone, I'd be like, hey, how's that, riffer coming along? And, how's the guitar feeling? They're like, I'm really nervous. I don't think I could do this. And then as time went on, you see, the progress. And then we had the show at my house 2 weeks after. And everyone was just glowing. We had lights, we had support, we had food, and the bands ruled. You know what
amazing.
I mean?
That's
they were
amazing.
fucking incredible, actually.
Yeah.
And it was loud, it was fierce, it was fun, everything that I would want to see
Good
at a
for
punk
you.
show. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
You obviously started this because there was a void that needed to be filled.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
But the city has responded.
Oh, huge. Everyone was ready for it.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone wants an inclusive, diverse fucking music scene, of course, and everyone wants better music and
Yeah.
not everyone wants punk, but I do, so that was my rule, to write
Yeah.
punk music.
Yeah.
And for the second Band Off, we even had really fun things like a Blitzkrieg shop. So we had a workshop for everyone to learn Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. So we had a guitar workshop in one corner, a bass guitar workshop in the other corner, and then the drums in another. And so we were learning just a basic riffer of the Ramones, that song. And so so I could guide people through what punk is, because I invited everyone. For the second one, I was like, moms come. There was lots of 40 plus people who came to the second Band Off, and I was like, yes. And so they needed to be, they probably didn't need anything, but I wanted to remind them to make sure that they played punk because that's what I want to hear. And to make sure that people were feeling comfortable and encouraged to be loud and to make lots of noise on stage because, you know.
It's amazing. This is great.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
You've also launched a new Facebook page.
I did.
For the Anti-Capitalist Emotional Health and Labor Exchange Collective.
Yeah.
Is that the right name? Did I get that right? What is that?
I just threw it together the other night because, you know, well, my history is community work, and this is what I do in any community that I'm involved with. And I created it out of a fucking distinct need for some support in our community. I mean, so many people get into punk, into indie rock, into any kind of art scene because they're on some kind of fringe of society, you know, they're hurting in some way. And in Newfoundland, we're really limited in our resources. And I have so many friends who reach out to me who are in crisis and somehow, like they have addictions, they have mental health issues, they're bummed out because this is an isolating place. We have so many beautiful people, but not everyone, but a lot of people feel very isolated from each other. And so many people have been on like a waiting list for free counseling for a year, and they don't get it in the end. So I'm trying to create a trade, a barter system, and that's where you know what I mean? Because we have all these people who are trained as informal counselors in our communities, and I'm not talking about any particular type of community. I'm not just talking about punk. I'm not just talking about DIY. I mean, anyone in St. John's can avail of this collective is what I want to see.
Right.
And it's feminist, anti-oppression based, so I would want you to come to the collective with that in mind. But anyone is welcome, and basically I would want to barter a fair service for another fair service, right? So if you want 1 hour of counseling with someone who's like an actual trained counselor, it's not like dilly-dally, let's talk about bullshit. No, it's like a real service for another real service.
Whoa, you don't mean the band Dilly Dally.
Oh, shit. No, dilly-dally. No, great band.
Okay.
Yeah. And so solid. I'm like the bummer of the couch. I appreciate your humor there.
I just thought you had beef with Dilly Dally and they're playing.
No beef. Great band.
Yeah, okay.
So one hour of counseling for like another solid service, which could be whatever you want to bring to the table. So if you're like handy around the house and you're a carpenter and I need some fucking steps repaired or whatever, make sure it's no skill or service unpaid or undervalued. Recognize the underpaid and undervalued emotional labor that most women do, and to recognize all of that and make sure we're all taking care of each other in a way that's a little more focused. And that's my hope, and obviously everyone here is invited to participate, and that's what I would like to see actually. I have a personal need too. I'm lonely as fuck half the time, and we all need someone to talk to, you know what I mean? And most of us don't have money for psychologists or counselors, so it's meeting that need. Hopefully. That would be the goal.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Woo. Thanks, yeah.
You're a remarkable person.
Thanks, man.
Do you gotta cuss so much?
Oh, well, I'm a Newfoundlander. I don't know what it's like in Ontario.
We don't swear at all. Not even a little.
I'm a welder.
No,
I'm
a
punker.
I'm just kidding. I
and I have no boundaries.
I like that you were like, if I need some fucking steps made, I gotta call a fucking carpenter.
I'm a tough guy.
Yeah, you are. It's good. Now, speaking of this, you were prompted to both learn and teach women's self-defense. What prompted that?
Yeah, well,
you seem like someone
just recognizing.
You seem like someone who recognizes a need in your community, and then you take it upon yourself to do something about it. It's amazing.
I do.
See?
Yeah, no, you were right, Elling. You were right.
It's amazing.
Good job, Elling. Yeah. How about a hand for Elling?
How about a hand for me? Thank you. Thank you very much. Not for Renee, just
I don't want to undermine this discussion with my stupid fucking jokes, but hey, yeah, trying to help. Talk about this. Why did you do this?
Okay, well, I've been taking this type of martial arts. Well, it's not a well, I'll explain it if you like. But I've been taking this type of self-defense for women since 2002, and I was living in Toronto, and I was singing for a hardcore band. And mostly what I was saying about was violence against women and self-defense. And there was lots of violence going on in the community, like many communities, there's lots of violence within our punk scenes
absolutely.
and any scene that goes unrecognized. And I always try to point that out and think of a solution that people can be supported in. And
because there's an inherent frustration in being marginalized, and sometimes that manifests itself in violence, even towards each other. Is that what you meant?
Absolutely, but what I focus on specifically is gendered violence. So mostly what I'm seeing is, I've gravitated personally towards punk because the music is hard and fast and fun, but also because there's a platform that's supposedly inherently radical, and its purpose and foundation would be to counter the popular culture. It doesn't often work, but that's why I stick around, because I try to work from that to create something that I want. But even though that's there, anti-racist, like feminist, like la la la, it doesn't always look like that.
Right.
And sometimes it's a bit of a gaze of a safe space. So what we're actually seeing is a lot of women being fucked within our own communities, being harassed, being assaulted, and not getting any support. Right? Okay, so there you go. And so I sing about it in my bands, and there was a lot of violence going on. A guy tried to assault me. He broke into my room while I was sleeping. I sleep with a hammer, and I was fine. I yelled, I scared him away, did everything I had to do, and I was fine. And then, a woman got attacked who was in our community, and she survived, but barely, outside of a venue that we often played in, okay? So that was the last straw for me, and a opportunity came up for me to go train in Toronto to become a women's self-defense instructor. So I made a promise to the punk community that I would go get trained, and I would come back and teach for free, and that's what I did. And that was the culmination of the reality of violence against women that we all know, and very specific events in my community.
Well, it's amazing. What's the practice that you use in?
Yeah, it's called Wendo Women's Self-Defense. It's Canada's longest running women's self-defense organization. Actually, it's been running since 1972. It's based in Toronto, and it's fun, easy to remember, easy to learn self-defense for all women identified, of all abilities and all ages. So we have women who come to our courses who are like in their 90s and kick ass. We have all of our spaces, well, as much as possible, are wheelchair accessible. So we have people coming to our spaces using assistive devices like crutches and wheelchairs, and a wheelchair is a weapon. So we use what people have. It's women know how to defend themselves right now with their bodies just the way they are, without any type of martial arts experience. So it's your big body parts against an attacker's weak spot, and that's what we go on. We go on the understanding that women already know how to defend themselves, and we just give them a few extra skills to take down an attacker if they have to. And women do it all the time, and so we celebrate that and just move from there.
Amazing. Okay, listen, we are almost out of time, but I was hoping that you could actually demonstrate one move.
Okay, yeah.
And can you take the mic with you to do it somehow?
If you would like to hold a mic for me.
Alan can do it. No, well, I want to kind of call the play-by-play a little, but do you need volunteers?
I would like to invite one woman up here to be my partner, and I'm not going to touch her at all.
Does anyone
I'm not going to hurt her in any way.
Does anyone wish to volunteer? Anyone? Chippy Nonstop maybe, or Mara, do you want to do it? Okay.
I would love...
Chip. Chippy's wearing a bra.
I would like to say that after this demo, Chippy and the rest of the people here who identify as women are welcome to come talk to me after, and we could have a private 10-minute session over there, and I could teach you some really fun, easy to learn things that you'll never forget and you'll love if you want to. So meet me over in the corner. No dudes allowed, but people who identify as women come hang, and Chippy and whoever else can come hang. Yeah.
All right.
Mara?
Do you want to do it now? Okay.
I'd like to say that Mara, so I teach a 2-day, 15-hour course, right?
Right.
Mara and her mom came to my course, and they were incredible.
Nice.
Yeah, and Mara's mom was also my grade 4 teacher. And Mara kept being surprised with how strong her mom was. And Mara's mom kept being surprised with how strong Mara was. So it's a really beautiful mother and daughter. So Mara's basically trained to be my
That's
assistant.
amazing.
Yeah.
And just because we are a music and arts show, Mara's a musician.
That's right.
Mara,
There's so much about
Can we
Mara.
get a mic on Mara and just find out? Mara, what bands do you play in?
I play in Harazetta, and I play in my own band, Wonder Strands, and another band called Gramercy Riffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I played with Charlotte Cornfield this week, which is
oh,
really
cool.
lovely.
Charlotte's
Yeah.
amazing. Is Charlotte here? Hey, hi, Charlotte. Okay, we're running out of time. Oddly enough, Mara is the floor director, so she's in charge of the time. So whatever. Do you want me to tell you to wrap it up? No, it's fine. Okay, so.
Do you want to face me? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to demo a choke release, actually. So basically, I'll give this to you in a second. I'll teach a choke release. Newfoundland has the highest rates of domestic violence in Canada. And so the most common assault on a woman who's leaving in a relationship is a choke. So I'm going to show a choke release, and I would highly actually encourage women, anyone who's comfortable with meeting me over there, and I'll teach you in detail how to do a choke release. Right now, I'll quickly demo, and then we'll move on. So let's do that. So basically, we'll say Mara is my ex-partner. Obviously, you could be attacked by a man or a woman, but let's say for now, it's a man. He was my husband. We were together for 15 years. It was romantic at first, but then he was a little fucker. And one day I was cooking chili. Kids were, playing in the room, and he said, "Oh, you burnt the chili again. You're a stupid bitch." And I said, "You know what? That's the last thing. That's emotional abuse. That's not cool. I'm packing my bags. I'm going to leave." And he said, "Actually, if I can't have you, no one can." And he tried to choke me. So I would encourage everyone to actually breathe during this intense conversation. So literally take a deep breath and then let it go. Cool. Here's the choke release. Go ahead, Mara. Can you choke me as hard as you can? I'm not going to touch you. Choke me. So this is a life-threatening situation. In real life, Mara's being polite, but the attacker would be digging their thumbs down and into your windpipe. You only have a few seconds before you could pass out. You want to be quick and effective. A choke release looks like this. Are you ready? Choke for real. Choke. And this is what I did. This is why it works. It's my big shoulders against the attacker's little fingers, right? So it's my big shoulders against a small body part. I did not do strength against strength. I'm not trying to pull the attacker's arms off of me, right? I put my elbows together and I skyrocketed. So that was the release. And then you saw me make a fist and come down, and I broke the collarbone. Raise your hand if you know anyone who's had a broken collarbone. Yeah, it's usually a lot because it's the easiest bone to break in the body. So I highly encourage, and I made this personal because we're making it real, right? Usually violence against women happens by someone that you know and trust, right? So you want to mentally prepare, okay, I absolutely have the right to break someone's collarbone even if I love them. Even if they're my dad, my uncle, a boss, a coworker, or a partner or ex-partner. My life is number one, and a bone heals back just fine, right? So if you're in a life-threatening situation, and I hope none of you ever are, you have the right to defend yourself. Your life is worth it, and I would like and encourage men and women to defend yourself like you would a young child, because you're worth it, and I hope you all continue to support each other in the way that you do. If you've ever been hurt, please get resources that you deserve. Come talk to me. And thanks for picking up for each other in the way that I know that you all do. And continue having zero tolerance for harassment or assaults within our communities. And thanks you so much for listening today and creating this space. So thank you. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Renee. Where can people, is there someplace people can go in St. John's to learn more about you and your organizations and how you can help?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Wendo Women's Self-Defense on Facebook and www.wendo.ca, WENDO. .co.
Okay.
C8. So wen is in women. It's like Chinese and Japanese for women. Do is in dojo. So wen do.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Another round of applause for Renee Sharpe, everyone. Amazing. That's our show. Thanks to all our guests, Jim Bryson, Chippy Nonstop, Hooded Fang, Lawnya, Vawnya, The Rocket Room, Chris Myers for recording it, Mara for doing the thing, and Ellen, and everybody for doing the show. All of you for watching it, all of you for listening. That's the show. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next year.
For more information about listening to episodes or subscribing to the Creative Control podcast, please visit vishkhanna.com.